Okay, real talk. You ever notice how the people who talk the most about money are usually the ones who have the least of it? I'm not talking about financial advisors or YouTubers like me. I'm talking about your friend who won't shut up about his new watch, your coworker who casually mentions her vacation to Bali every single Monday, or that guy at the gym who parks his leased BMW right in front where everyone can see it. And here's the uncomfortable part. If you're honest with yourself, you might be that person too. Maybe not with a BMW. Maybe it's the new iPhone you bought on a payment plan, or those sneakers you absolutely needed even though you've got 6 other pairs sitting in your closet. We're all playing a game, and most of us don't even realize we're playing it. My name is Ely, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart people make terrible financial decisions. If you're someone who feels like you're working hard, making decent money, but somehow never getting ahead, and if you've ever bought something specifically because you wanted other people to see you with it, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because what I'm about to share is going to make you seriously reconsider every purchase you've made in the last 6 months. Now look, before we go any further, I need you to do something for me. Smash that like button right now. I know, you're only 30 seconds in. But here's the thing, YouTube's algorithm rewards early engagement. And if you want me to keep making videos that actually help you build wealth instead of just telling you to stop buying coffee, I need your help. So hit that like button. It takes half a second, and it makes a massive difference. Also, subscribe if you haven't already, because we're about to dive deep into something that nobody else is talking about. Here's what most people don't realize. There's an invisible tax you're paying every single day, and it's way more expensive than income tax, sales tax, or even that premium you're overpaying for car insurance. This tax doesn't show up on any receipt. The government doesn't collect it. But it's quietly draining your bank account month after month, year after year, and it's the main reason why people who make $70, $80, even $100,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. I'm talking about the status tax. And if you don't understand how it works, you're going to stay broke for a very long time. Let me paint you a picture. There's this concept in evolutionary psychology called costly signaling. Basically, throughout human history, we've had to prove our worth to our tribe, to potential mates, to our competitors. A peacock grows this massive, colorful tail that makes it harder to run from predators. Why? Because that tail signals to other peacocks, hey, I'm so strong and capable that I can survive even with this ridiculous disadvantage. Humans do the exact same thing, except instead of colorful feathers, we use cars, clothes, phones, vacations, and houses we can't afford. We're all walking around with metaphorical peacock tails, and they're bankrupting us. Here's the math that nobody talks about. The average American spends about 62% of their income trying to maintain or improve their social status. I'm not making this up. Researchers at the Federal Reserve Bank looked at spending patterns and found that when your neighbors get richer, you spend more money. Not on things you need, on things that signal you're keeping up. A study from the Journal of Consumer Research found that people are willing to pay up to 40% more for products if those products are publicly visible versus private. Think about that. You'll pay 40% more for a Nike hoodie that people can see versus generic workout gear you wear at home. That's not about quality, that's about signaling. Now you might be thinking, okay, Ely, but I don't care what people think. I buy things because I like them. And look, I get it. Nobody wants to admit they're playing the status game. But here's where it gets interesting. A team of researchers at Harvard ran an experiment where they asked people why they bought luxury items. Almost everyone said it was for personal enjoyment, quality, or because they worked hard and deserved it. Then the researchers asked those same people if they'd pay the same amount for an identical product with no brand label, and overwhelmingly, people said no. That's the quiet part nobody wants to say out loud. We're not buying the thing, we're buying what the thing says about us. Let me give you a real-world example with actual numbers, because this is where the math gets scary. Let's say you make $75,000 a year. After taxes, you're taking home roughly $57,000. That's $4,700 a month. Now, rent or mortgage, let's say $1,500. That's pretty average for a lot of mid-sized cities. Car payment, $450. Insurance, another $150. Phone bill, $80. Utilities and internet, $200. Groceries, $400. Gas, $150. We're at $2,930, and we haven't even gotten to the status stuff yet. But here's what happens next. You need a car, but not just any car. You get something nice, something that doesn't scream "I'm struggling." Maybe it's a used luxury sedan. Maybe it's a new mid-tier SUV. Either way, that $450 car payment could have been $200 if you'd bought a reliable used Honda. That's $250 a month you're paying purely for status. Your phone. Do you really need the latest iPhone Pro Max, or whatever they're calling it? That's $1,200 every 2 years instead of $400 for a mid-range phone that does literally everything you need it to do. That's another $30 a month. Clothes. You're not buying from Target, you're buying from brands that matter. Another $150 a month on average. Eating out because cooking at home doesn't get Instagram likes. Another $300. Streaming services, subscriptions, the gym membership at the nice place instead of Planet Fitness. Another $100. We're talking about $830 a month, almost $10,000 a year, spent entirely on things that signal status. That's 18% of your after-tax income vanishing into thin air, and this is a conservative estimate. Now here's the thing that makes this even worse. It compounds. Not in a good way like investments, in a terrible way. Because when you spend money on status, you're not just losing that money, you're losing what that money could have become. Take that $10,000 a year and invest it in a simple index fund averaging 8% returns. In 10 years, that's $156,000. In 20 years, it's nearly $500,000. In 30 years, you're looking at $1.2 million. You're trading a future where you're financially free for a present where people think you're doing well. You're buying the appearance of wealth while destroying your ability to actually build it. But here's what most people don't realize, and this is the part that's going to sting a little. The people you're trying to impress don't actually care. There's this brutal truth in psychology called the spotlight effect. We think people are paying way more attention to us than they actually are. You think people notice your new car? They glance at it for 3 seconds and forget about it. You think people care about your designer bag? They might notice it in the moment, but I promise you they're not going home thinking about your handbag. They're thinking about themselves, about their own status signals, about their own financial anxiety. Everyone is so busy performing their own status game that they barely register yours. There was a study done at Cornell where researchers asked people to wear embarrassing t-shirts and then estimate how many people in a room noticed. People thought about 50% of the room noticed. The actual number? Less than 25%. We're all walking around thinking we're the main character in everyone else's story, but the reality is we're barely a background extra. And yet we're spending thousands of dollars a year to impress people who aren't even paying attention. This is where it gets interesting. The wealthiest people I know, and I'm talking about people with legitimate multi-million-dollar net worths, don't play this game. They drive older cars. They wear normal clothes. They live in houses that are nice, but not extravagant. Why? Because they understand something that broke people don't. Wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about being rich. And you can't be rich if you're spending all your money trying to look rich. There's this amazing quote from Morgan Housel. He said, "Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money." It's the most obvious thing in the world, and yet almost nobody lives by it. Now you might be thinking, okay, Ely, but what's the alternative? Just live like a broke college student forever? Drive a beater car and wear clothes from Goodwill? And look, no, that's not what I'm saying. Here's the shift you need to make. Stop optimizing for what other people see and start optimizing for what actually matters to you. This requires brutal honesty with yourself. You need to sit down and ask, if nobody ever saw this purchase, if it never showed up on social media, if my friends and family never knew I had it, would I still buy it? If the answer is yes, great, buy it. If the answer is no, or even if you hesitate, you're about to waste money on the status game. Let me give you a framework I use. It's called the private value test. Before you buy anything over $100, ask yourself, does this make my private life better or my public image better? If it's your private life, it's probably a good purchase. A quality mattress, nobody sees it, but you sleep on it every night. Good cookware, nobody sees it, but you use it constantly. A gym membership that you actually use, even if it's not the fancy one. Nobody cares which gym you go to, but your health matters. These are investments in your actual quality of life. But if the main value is public, the brand name, the logo, the ability to post about it, that's a red flag. That's the status tax sneaking into your wallet. Here's another way to think about it. Warren Buffett, one of the richest people on the planet, still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for $31,000. It's worth about $1 million today, which sounds like a lot. But for a guy worth over $100 billion, he could buy a house that costs $100 million and not even notice. Why doesn't he? Because he doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. His wealth is real, not performed. Compare that to the average person making $60,000 a year who's driving a $50,000 car. Who's actually wealthier? The guy with $100 billion in assets or the guy with negative net worth because of status purchases? Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. Ely, you're being too extreme. Life isn't just about hoarding money. You should enjoy your life. And you're absolutely right. I'm not saying don't spend money. I'm saying spend it intentionally. Spend it on things that actually make you happy, not things that make you look happy. There's a massive difference. Research from Elizabeth Dunn and Michael Norton shows that people get way more lasting happiness from experiences than from material goods. But even more importantly, they found that people get the most satisfaction from purchases that align with their identity, not purchases that project an identity they don't actually have. Here's the action step, and this is something you can do literally today. Pull up your bank statement from the last 3 months. Go through every single purchase over $50 and categorize it. Is this something that improved my private life? Or is this something that improved how others see me? Be honest. Brutally honest. That concert ticket? Probably private life. You genuinely enjoyed it. That designer jacket you wore twice? Probably status. That fancy dinner at the new trendy restaurant? If you went because the food is incredible, private life. If you went because it makes a good Instagram story, status. Add up the status purchases. I'm willing to bet it's way more than you think. For most people, it's somewhere between 20 and 40% of discretionary spending. Once you see the number, here's what you do. Cut it in half. Not all the way, because I'm realistic. We live in a society, and sometimes you do need to signal competence and success, especially in professional settings. But cut it in half. If you spent $3,000 on status stuff in the last 3 months, your goal for the next 3 months is $1,500. And here's the key. Take that other $1,500 and do something with it that actually builds wealth. Pay off high-interest debt. Build an emergency fund. Invest in index funds. Start a side business. Do literally anything except light it on fire trying to impress people who don't care. Let me tell you what happens when you stop playing the status game. First, you're going to feel weird. You're going to feel like people are judging you. You're going to feel behind. Your coworker is going to show up with a new car, and you're going to feel a twinge of envy. That's normal. Sit with it. Remind yourself that their new car is probably financed at 7% interest, and they're going to be making payments for the next 6 years while you're building actual wealth. Second, you're going to notice how many people around you are trapped in the same cycle. Once you step outside the game, you see it everywhere. The guy flexing his watch who lives with his parents. The girl posting vacation photos who put the whole trip on credit cards. The couple with the beautiful house who fights about money every single night. You'll start to see that what looks like success is often just expensive misery. And third, this is the best part, you're going to start building real wealth. Not fake wealth, not the appearance of wealth, actual money in actual accounts that actually compounds. You're going to hit a point, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10, where you have freedom. Real freedom. The freedom to quit a job you hate. The freedom to take a risk on something you care about. The freedom to not worry when your car breaks down or when you need to go to the dentist. That freedom is worth infinitely more than any status symbol you could ever buy. Here's the thing that nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to understand. The status game is designed to keep you broke. It's not a conspiracy. It's just how consumer capitalism works. Companies spend billions of dollars every year convincing you that you need their product to be respected, to be attractive, to be successful. And it works. The average American has less than $5,000 in savings, but owns thousands of dollars worth of stuff they barely use. We're a nation of broke people who look rich, and it's killing our financial futures. So here's my challenge to you, and I'm being completely serious about this. For the next 30 days, buy nothing for status. Nothing. If you can't justify a purchase based purely on its private value to your life, don't buy it. This means no new clothes unless you literally have nothing to wear. No eating out at fancy places just to post about it. No upgrading your phone, your car, your anything just because the new version exists. 30 days. You can do anything for 30 days. At the end of those 30 days, look at how much money you saved. Look at how you feel. I'm willing to bet you feel lighter, less anxious, more in control. And I'm willing to bet nobody in your life even noticed you stopped playing the game. Because here's the final truth, and this is what I want you to walk away from this video understanding. Wealth is invisible. Real wealth doesn't look like anything. It's numbers in an account. It's investments that compound. It's options and freedom and the ability to say no to things that don't serve you. Poverty, on the other hand, poverty is loud. It's expensive cars with nothing in the bank. It's designer everything with credit card debt. It's the appearance of success built on a foundation of financial stress. The choice is yours. You can keep playing the status game and stay broke, or you can opt out, build real wealth, and actually win. If this video made you rethink even one purchase you were about to make, hit that like button. If you want more content about building real wealth instead of fake wealth, subscribe. Drop a comment and let me know the most expensive status purchase you've ever made. The one you regret now that you're thinking about it differently. I read every single comment and I love hearing from you. Remember, the goal isn't to be rich, the goal is to be free. And freedom doesn't come from what people think you have. It comes from what you actually have. I'll see you in the next one.